I'd like to say how grateful I am to all of you for this conversation and for the time that you've given to it, and for the generosity in sharing yourselves and your ancestors in the conversation, and for the experience of being in a circle virtually that felt like a circle, and that also brought me in contact with fellow travelers. Palania, Opila.
Thank you.
I'll follow that by appreciating that. I think your initial inquiry of how do I stay on my pivot foot in the spirit realm and not get distracted by my mind's idea about what ought to happen next. It feels like this whole conversation has really brought us together around our interest in the world of not knowing that we open up to by putting a foot down in that realm and speaking to it. So I feel grateful for the commonality of that shared experience and the ability to do that in community.
Thank you, Jerry.
I think that the notion. Oh, sorry, Deborah. Go ahead. If you're I'm fascinated in the way in which I'm taking that notion of permission and approaching it differently than prior to this call. And I have a lot of gratitude for all of you for letting me get to that appreciation.
Thank you, Jen.
I feel appreciative for the reminder today to keep our pivot foot planted, and especially to pay attention to the irrational, the intuitive, the diverse four winds that give us messages of who we are and what's needful, and how we can use our life and be creative, sometimes even if it doesn't make sense or if people say it isn't possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Len. And Deborah, you've been very patient too.
No, that's all right. It's just as well I'm in this moment because all of you have articulated really kind of what I wanted to say. So thank you. I feel like I'm listening to some best versions of my own self, and it keeps enlivened a conversation and the kind of quality of conversation that's where I most love to live, which is this, in a way, crossroads of what I know and what I don't know. And if both aren't alive and well, I don't feel so full fat as a human. So I want to thank you, and also thank to Kaylin. This is my relationship with Kaylin, with emails and phone calls and a couple of Skypes. I'm always taking notes because I'm having great thoughts. So I thanks for that ongoing inspiration.
Thank you, Deborah.
I want to also, I feel grateful for the teachings today, and also the inspiration to keep find a practice that works for me to attune to the ancestral voices that already in me. And also, I love the way Kaylin put it, how to find a way to pick the pivot foot in the spiritual realm. So, because all my life is kind of floating around for so long, I just really need to land. And thank you for this moment of sharing.
Thank you, Shal.
I so much appreciate first of all, the expansion of the idea of our ancestors and so many different realms and so many different beings. It just helps me feel so connected, and also just not to be shy about just going there and just saying I offer and have that relationship. So, I think I'll be a little bit more forward, but with humility.
Wow. Thank you, Wendy. I'm taking away two things. One is just the feeling of deep connection of this circle that we created together. The second is the idea that you articulated, Two Trees, and that others of us also articulated about listening to the voice in each situation and the way that's called for in that situation, of letting go of how I did it yesterday and being present in how it's being called for to be done today.